You know, United Kingdom, Germany, I've just been there and it's amazing. They are very amazing countries. I love to go there. Friendly people everywhere. It's also a very beautiful country. Both of them are very beautiful countries, both Germany and England. Very beautiful countries, yeah. And yeah, enjoyed my trip very much. But actually, also every time when I made a trip, I'm also very glad to be back here in my forests here. And I say my forest, and why my forest? Um, you know, my brothers and sisters, that is also something that you need to know from the dragon spirit that lives with you. A dragon spirit always leaves a mark on wherever you go. Yeah, when I was in the forests of England, I was sitting and trying to have a meditation, but there was something different. The energy was different. The energy, when I arrived here for the very first time here in this forest, also the energy was unfamiliar because I was raised somewhere else. It was unfamiliar, but yeah, they say it's just the same. It's the same trees, but yeah, there is something different to it, and I felt this very much in England, also in Germany. I felt this energy was so not familiar with it. You know, I changed this forest, my brothers and sisters, in the forest of the dragon. It used to be the forest very well known as the forest of the Fae. You know, the Fae is a spirit of nature, a nature spirit that is very, very well known here. It's a legend, but also very much seen, very much contacted with. I mean, the local people from here are very familiar with the Fae of this forest. So actually, when I arrived in this forest, it felt, yeah, different because it's actually the property of the Fae. The Fae is very well known. But I brought actually the energy of the dragon inside of this forest. Of course, in the beginning, it was, yeah, it was like, what are you doing here in our forest? This is our territory, and I came to contact with the energy of this forest, and very much. I came in contact with the energy and even the guardian of this forest, and people don't seem to believe me. I came in contact with the guardian of this forest, very creepy. But after that, it seemed that I was welcome in this forest because my intentions were good. Even that I was allowed to do so much in this forest with draconic energy, that I released so much draconic energy in this forest that you see behind here. In this forest, I released so much draconic energy that some people might even now see the dragon inside of it, not just the Fae, but also the dragon. And that is how powerful you can be wherever you leave your mark behind. It's the mark of the dragon. But yeah, of course, I could do this the same with these England and these Germany forests. I could do the same, but I need time. Whenever I came here to meditate, to talk with my dragon, I needed months, even more, even like a year, actually, that I could leave a mark behind here in this forest. And that is also what you can do very much, because the mark of the dragon needs a bit of time, but where you are home as well, you can leave a mark behind. And that is also what I left with my dragon altar. I left my dragon altar. I left a mark of the dragon behind on my dragon altar. And a mark of the dragon, don't see it as something like light. This is forever. This is for all eternity that you leave a mark behind. Yeah, that is what I could feel in this forest of England. It had different energies. It had energies from different spirits, and I could feel. And that is the very first time that I could physically see the spirit of this forest. The very first time that I could know that there are spirits in this forest, that humans just cannot understand the energy that lives inside of forests, that they sometimes destroy it without even knowing how much it can. I mean, how many gates there are inside of it. How many gates? I mean, where nature is wild, there are many spirits. And sometimes humans don't seem to understand that the true way to the other side is nature, where nature is wild. Not a building, not a church, not everything, but a forest. And I could feel this very much in England as well, and in Germany, that there are a lot of gates, but not the gate to the dragon yet. But that is something that you can change. The mark of the dragon is something that opens up the gate of the dragon. In this forests now, because of my simply my presence, I can open up gates here simply because I desire for the dragon. I connect with the dragon, and that is how you change a forest. And not only a forest that you can change. For example, I'm giving you an example. I play a lot of cards with my dad. Uno cards, And Uno cards is more like 50-50 chance that you can win. For a lot of years, we played every single day. And in the beginning, when he has the cards, when he just bought the cards, it's like 50-50. But once I manipulate it with my hands, just simply with my hands, just a week after it, I always win. And that is just it. This Uno is just 50-50. You don't know who's going to win. But I always win after a week. After a week of my touching my hand, and then the desire to win, is it actually enough for me to actually win all the time. He always, because of this, calls me a witch. But even he's an atheist. He doesn't believe really in witches, but every time I'm saying to him, I'm going to manipulate these cards, every time he's trying to buy new cards, that is his chance to win. And then after a week, in my hands, I always win. And he says, you are some kind of a witch. I say, that is what I'm trying to tell you all of these years. I am a witch, and I leave my mark of the dragon behind it. That is, the dragon is pure manipulation. Manipulation is not bad, but like I say, let me explain what dragon manipulation is. Dragon manipulation is to leave a mark of the dragon behind. And a mark of a dragon that is, to you, my brothers and sisters, you are born with a mark of the dragon. And you can use this mark to manipulate things. And that is also being called dragon magic. The mark of the dragon is actually not something that you can learn. It's not something that you can teach, but you can awaken it. You can very much awaken it more and more. That is why I work on it every single day, to work on the awakening of my dragon mark. I came to understand in 2005 that I had this dragon mark, an energy of a spirit that lives within, a spirit that is awakened, but it's also a mark that you might not see physical, but this mark takes care that you can manipulate things, that you can open up gates, and that whenever I arrived in this forest, I did this. That is why I came in encounter with the energy of the guardian of this forest. I had so much respect but I feared it. I had a lot of fear. When I saw the guardian of this forest, it was in the shape of a deer skeleton. You know the Wendigo, my brothers and sisters? It's like that. It's like that, in the middle of the night, in the deepest of this forest in Belgium. And every single one would die out of fear. But I didn't really know what happened, but I came out of this forest while there are so many disappearings here in this forest. Whenever I arrived in this forest, I heard of so many disappearings that happened and that occurred here in this forest about hunters and lumberjacks. Those two that I really cannot stand. And that is why I sometimes, whenever I had this encounter with the guardian of this forest, I was always being able to call this my forest. This is my forest. I am able to do whatever I want with it because my intentions are pure. My intentions, my brothers and sisters, are draconic. And that is what the guardian of this forest felt. This guardian of this forest didn't make me disappear, didn't kill me. That is also what happened a time ago, I was praying, there were so many hunters, and I was actually talking to my dragon. I hope that in this place they will suffer. Really, sometimes. I'm sorry, I really have a hate. And there's nothing wrong to hate, my brothers and sisters. Hate is good if it's not eating you alive. But I was having this hatred, really, against this hunter, because they were amusing themselves to hurt animals, and I hate that. I was actually doing a dragon mark on that place. What happened some time ago is on that place, this hunter, there was a tree falling down, a very ancient tree. I don't like that trees are falling, but this tree just on that place, just where this hunter was standing, he was squashed. There was actually nothing left from him. On that place that I say to the dragon, let them suffer. That is how powerful the mark of the dragon can be, my brothers and sisters. Whenever you mean something, like I say, hate. It's maybe hate, and hating is, people say hating is not good. It's okay. if it's not eating you alive, if it's not consuming you, then hating is okay. You have to find a direction for your hate, for your love, and that is how a dragon does that. A dragon can very much manipulate their emotions, their energies, and that is also what you need to learn, my brothers and sisters. You need to learn how to control it, how to control this, and that is what I learned in these forests. Learned with so many different spirits from other gates, that I learned from other spirits, from the guardian of this forest. I mean, the guardian of this forest. I could write a book about that night that I encountered him. And from that night, ever since, I call this forest my forest. This used to be as well, and still is, the forest of the Fae, and the forest of the guardian that I've seen, that's actually saved my life that night. He saved my life because I was fighting for animals. I was fighting against all of these people that want to destroy this. And I was allowed to leave, and I was allowed to do in this forest whatever I want. And that is what I didn't feel in England. That is what I didn't feel in Germany yet. But if I stay there for just a year or something, these forests will also become draconic. And that is also with you, my brothers and sisters. The more you stay there, the more your will is there, the more you put your mark on something, it becomes an open gate to the dragon. These entire forests now that you see here is now the gate of the dragon. It's now the dragon forest. And because I left my mark behind. And that is also something that you can do, my brothers and sisters.